The Oklahoma City Thunder are officially NBA champions after defeating the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. This team, headlined by MVP, Finals MVP, scoring champ, Western Finals MVP, SGA, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, has now become champions, and this team has plenty of assets to continue to get better within the next few years. With 13 first-round picks over the next 7 years, this team is not going to slow down at all. And let's take a deep dive today into how this team went from only 22 and 24 wins less than 5 years ago to becoming NBA champions throughout the draft and throughout some great trades. Let's take a look at it. When we talk about the Thunder, there is one man that you have to mention. The guy who saved this franchise. After they moved from Seattle to OKC, they made the finals after a few years going over there, but after that, they were in between contender and outside of the playoffs, but they weren't truly able to get back to that peak that they were when Harden, Westbrook, and Kevin Durant were all young superstars at that point. And after Harden left, this team was really down in the dumps. But Sam Presti, going back to 2019-2020 season, pulled off the Great Reset and really rebuilt this team. After years of chasing titles with guys like Westbrook and Paul George, they finally decided to blow everything up. They traded Paul George to the Clippers for Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and a haul of draft picks at the time. Now, at the time, the Clippers, also getting Kawhi Leonard, thought that they would be able to go and compete. The Thunder were completely fine just blowing this team up and trying to just rebuild and create the roster that they now have today. They also sent Russell Westbrook to Houston and Chris Paul to Phoenix, just stacking up those draft picks and cap space to be able to build these teams. While most teams would have tanked aimlessly, Presti had a blueprint. He stockpiled picks, he developed young talent, he was patient, he didn't take any shortcuts, and at the time, a lot of people weren't sure if this would pay off, and a lot of people at that time made jokes. They said, oh, how is this Thunder team going to win when they got a bunch of kids that are in high school and middle school right now? It'll take 5-10 years for these draft picks to even do anything. But that was completely wrong. They still have 13 draft picks now after just winning a championship, and this team was rebuilt. During that time period that they weren't that great, they were able to build up players like Shai Gilgeous Alexander, who learned a lot from a guy like Chris Paul during that time period as well, and completely believing in a guy like Shai Gilgeous Alexander helped this team develop into what they are today, and that is where the moment started and where this team really started to build. The next man we have to talk about, obviously, is the one that I just mentioned in Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Now, coming from the Clippers, he was seen as a good, young, talented guard, but when he was in OKC, he really developed into the player that he is today. The center of the rebuild really built around Shai Gilgeous Alexander. He was the guy who has now become a full-blown superstar. Year after year, he got better. By 2023, he was an All-NBA guard. By last season, he was dropping 30 each night with elite efficiency and clutch playmaking. And in 2025, he was the best player on a championship team, also taking home the MVP. What makes Shai special isn't just the stats, it's the poise, the control, his ability to dictate the tempo and help this team go out and play fantastic every single night. He became the perfect modern point guard for this team. He's pretty much unguardable off the dribble. He's elite from mid-range, and he's been able to do everything that he wants when he's in isolation. He was the one who really set the tone for this team, and the rest of the team would follow after that. Now, Shai could be the best player in the league, but without a core and a team built around him, this team wouldn't be where they are today, and that's where these draft picks would end up coming in place. We knew that Shai, once he got some guys around him, would really elevate this team to become a contender in the West, and they did that. Once Chet Holmgren finally came back and was healthy after he missed his full rookie season, he became a defensive monster for this team. His shot blocking, rim protection, and ability to stretch the floor at 7'1" gave them a unique front court anchor, and really thinking about a guy like Porzingis with a little bit of a higher defensive ceiling at the time. Now, The perfect co-star for Shai Gilgeous Alexander would come in Jalen Williams, a guy who dropped 40 in one of the games in the finals this season and became a All-NBA third-team player this season as well, proving that he is one of the best players in the league as well. A 6'6" wing with a smooth handle, strong frame. He's been able to score from pretty much every spot on the floor, and he gives OKC another late game option and plays great defense when it matters, and became that perfect guy to sit next to a guy like Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Then a few other guys on this roster that they would get, guys like Lou Dort, guys like Alex Caruso playing fantastic defense as well, guys like Isaiah Joe and Cason Wallace. There's guys throughout this whole roster that you can look at that play their roles very, very well. Alex Caruso is the guy who's been able to go out there and lock up everyone every night. A guy like Lou Dort able to do the same exact thing. A guy like Isaiah Joe coming in and shooting threes and giving them those threes when they need it. I mean, the Thunder have some great top-end talent, but they also have built this team so well where their role players know what their role is, and they come in and they play that perfectly, and that's why they've been able to win a championship this season as well, and this team is built to last. I mean, the playoff run this year showed that as well. This team is very, very cohesive together, and at one point, losing to the Nuggets in the second round, they weren't sure how far they would be able to get out of that, and they got out. They were in some tough battles throughout these playoffs, and they were able to get it done and make it through the finals to win a championship. Now, the most interesting part about this team is that Sam Presti's vision really, really paid off. At one point, like I said before, in 2020, this team was only winning 22 games in that season, and now they have gone and more than tripled that. I mean, they have gone from 22 wins to 68 wins in less than 5 years. Now, not every single team can do that. A lot of teams try to tank for multiple years. Teams like Utah, teams like Detroit, but they haven't been able to rebuild their teams back to becoming a contender. But the thing about this team is that they were building this brick by brick, pick by pick. They went in and they got guys every single year, but they also built this around a guy in Shai Gilgeous Alexander who they completely believed in. And it's not like they just let him go out there and shoot every single night. He was being mentored by the older players, guys like Chris Paul at the time, where he learned some great things as well. And this team was able to really play through and go and build off of that plan that Sam Presti had, and they were able to win a championship because of it this season. And Shai Gilgeous Alexander has become one of the best, if not the best players in franchise history, and that's with guys like Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, all winning MVPs for this team. Shai Gilgeous Alexander finally brought this team to a championship, getting an MVP as well during this time, and really proved to everyone that doubted this team even going into the playoffs. There were still some questions, even as a number one seed. Are they too young to compete? Are they going to be able to get it done when it becomes hard, especially in the playoffs, going up against teams, especially in the West, with a lot of veterans who have won championships or played in the finals as well? But this team went through and they got it done, and Sam Presti's vision has finally been complete, but I don't think it's over. I think this Thunder team could be competing for championships for the next few years, especially the way that it's built. Let me know down below if you guys were surprised that the Thunder won the championship this year, and I'll see you in the next one.